that's better. Do you realise, Jim, we'd have been married 6 years soon? Who'd believe it? But you've been a very good husband. There's no denying it. And I dare say I ain't been too easy a person to live with. 'Cause I've got my ways. Good job you come along when you did, restored my faith in men, 'cause I hadn't been exactly blessed in that department. I remember coming back from burying Pauline's ashes and feeling all empty. And you lit candles for me. And you put that record on. It was a lovely evening. And you held me so tight, and I remember thinking, I'm going to be all right. I don't need nobody but my Jim, my husband. And that you was right. I could be happy. But I know it's not your fault, but that's only a memory now. And I'm on my own again. After a while, you come to accept it, and you think that that is how things are supposed to be, and there's no use fighting it. Which of you, by taking thought, can add 1 cubit to his stature? I remember hearing that as a little girl in Wales. I was coming home with Auntie Gwen from chapel, and I asked her what it meant. And she said it was Jesus' way of telling us not to worry. That what will be, will be. It's funny, isn't it? How much easier it is if you don't expect nothing out of life. Back then it was a kiss from Auntie Gwen, whether it was sunny enough to go out in the fields. Not like now, with their ear pods and their pietas or whatever they are. All I had could fit into 1 tiny little suitcase. The whole world was at war, and I was the happiest I'd ever been. Well, I'd never had much love, you see, as a little girl. I was never held or told I was special. I was just there, talked about, not to. I never felt I was wanted. When I was on a train, being evacuated, all the children was crying because they didn't want to leave their mothers. I didn't cry. I think I'm going to have a cigarette, Jim. I expect I'll be forced to give 'em up soon. Can't smoke nowhere these days without catching pneumonia. You see, Auntie Gwen was like them mothers that you see in picture books. I didn't think they was real. It's hard to explain, but I'd never seen anyone happy like that. Her and Uncle Will, they couldn't have children of their own. So that made me special. I was their little girl. Meant everything to me. I didn't understand that I was only there for a little while, but not really. I thought I got a new mother. The old one didn't want me no more, and I was in a family, a real family. I'd never had that before. I remember sitting between them on the sofa, listening to the wireless, right in the middle, snug as a bug in a rug. And I wasn't in the way. And they gave me toys and crayons, do me drawings. And they talked to me. I remember one day, one perfect day. I woke up early and I could hear Uncle Will's tractor in the bottom field. And I looked out the window, I saw the sun coming up over the hill. and it was the brightest red I've ever seen, brighter than my mother's lipstick. Little wisps of cloud round it, looked like a painting. And the birds were singing, with no stops in between. And there was a smell of new bread coming up the stairs. And I remember thinking, this is my home. I live here. And I knew when I went down, Auntie Gwen would be smiling, and there wouldn't be no man at the table looking at me mother, touching her as she walked past, grinning at me. Cat got your tongue. Oh, take no notice, only Dot, she don't say much. At that moment, I was the happiest I'd ever been, and I went downstairs and Auntie Gwen was setting the table, and there was warm bread and a boiled egg for me, and a big brown pot of tea, and Uncle Will come in, and we sat eating our breakfast. Uncle Will laughing at me bed socks sticking out under me nightie. We was laughing at breakfast, just like in the books. The sun was so strong that day, I could hardly breathe, and I ran in the fields and I lay down and I looked up at the sky. I was so happy, I felt that I burst. I must have been there nearly an hour or more. Sky was the bluest I'd ever seen, so perfect. On my way home, I drank from a stream. Water was so cold, it hurt me head. It was the best day. So perfect, it was over in a flash. When I was in the kitchen, Auntie Gwen was washing me in the tin bath, and then I was on my way up to bed. And I lay there wondering if life was really like that, if everybody lived like this, and if I was just catching up, because everything I'd ever known was ugly. Smoky pubs, men spitting in the streets, swearing. And here I was, laying in bed, after the best day ever, crispy sheets, and the smell of my new washed nightie. And Uncle Will come up to tuck me in. First time I was frightened. I thought he'd come to tell me off because I'd never been tucked in before, so I hid under the covers. And he pulled them back and he smiled at me and said I looked like a frightened rabbit, which I was, I suppose. And after that, I waited for him every night.